Hey guys, today we're going to start our unit with doing some radical practice. So, directions. Let's do numbers A and B as your warm-up. Follow the order of operations. Should be simple for you. And then there will be a question that pops up on your Edpuzzle. Alright, what if the number or variable under the square root sign is not a perfect square? Previously, we've been able to approximate the square root by writing it as a decimal or with the help of our calculator. Sometimes, however, it is best to simplify the square root so that we have an exact answer. So a radical is the square root symbol. Which looks like this. But remember, it's not always the square root. It could be the cube root, the fourth root, the fifth root. Those are all radical symbols. And then the radicand is the numbers or variables under the radical or the square root symbol. Alright, something very helpful that I like to do is my perfect squares. So I'll make a list of perfect squares. And our perfect squares are when we multiply the same number. So like 1 times 1 is 1, or 1 squared is 1. 2 times 2 is 4, or 2 squared is 4. 3 times 3 is 9, or 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16, 5 squared, 25, 6 squared, 36, 7 squared, 49, 8 squared, 64, 9 squared, 81, 10 squared, 100, 11 squared, ooh, you can't see, 11 squared, 121, 12 squared, 144, 13 squared, 169, 14 squared, 196, and 15 squared, 225. So those are super helpful to have memorized because they will help us with simplifying using method 1. Alright, speaking of that method 1, let's get started. So we have the example 72. I want to think, which of these numbers can I divide into 72? So, I start with what's closest to 72, 64. 72 and 64 can't be divided for an equal number. 49 does not work. 36, however, does. Because 36 times 2 is 72. So I broke that up into 36 and 2. Alright, so the square root of 36 is 6. We don't know the square root of 2. It does not come out to be a perfect number. So we'll just do 6 square root of 2. And that is the simplified version of the square root of 72. Alright, let's try 48. So I will think, what numbers? I can't divide 48 by 36. Cannot divide 48 by 25. I can divide it by 16. So 48 divided by 16 is 3. So 16 times 3 is 48. So I broke it up into 2 different square roots. Now the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 3 just stays as the square root of 3. So that's the perfect square method. Let's do method 2, which is the pair method. So we just think, 72. I know that 8 times 9 is 72. So I don't have to think of perfect squares. I just have to think, what can I multiply by? So now 8. What times what is 8? I know that 4 times 2 is 8. And I know that 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, there's still something else that could be broken up, and that's the 4. 2 times 2 is 4, and then I'll copy down this 2, so times 2, copy down the 3, copy down the other 3. Alright, and then I look for pairs. So I have a pair of 2's and I have a pair of 3's. So because it's a pair, it'll go on the outside of the radical symbol. So 2 times 3 goes on the outside. And then I only have the little 2 lonely over there. Then I think 2 times 3 is 6. And I still have the square root of 2. Notice I got the same answer. I did have to do a little bit more work, but it's more, I feel like it's easier work than trying to figure out like the biggest number we can divide by. So I'm okay with you using either method. Either method will work. All right, number 2, 48. I know that 24 times 2 is 48. You could use any factors. It doesn't matter which ones you picked. So if you picked 4 and 12, that would also work. So whatever you pick, it works. All right, then the 24 will break up into 6 times 4. Still copy down that 2. 6 can be broken up to 3 times 2. 4 can be broken up to 2 times 2, and I still have that lonely 2 at the end. All right, now I look for my pairs. I have a pair of 2's and a pair of 2's. So the pairs go on the outside, so one pair, I'll put 1, 2. Another pair, I'll put another 2. And then in my square root, I only have a 3 left over. 2 times 2 is 4, square root of 3. And that is my final simplified answer.